Hey, these French doors have been jimmied, all right. Didn't it bother you to stay here last night after it happened?
Oh, I didn't. I stayed with Sylvia across town.
You told her about the robbery?
Well, no, I didn't. I started to, but then I was afraid I'd have to tell her too much.
Uh-huh. Did you stay here last night and then come over to my apartment by cab this morning?
Well, I came here first and then to your apartment. I wanted to be sure nothing else was missing. And then I decided to get in touch with you. And I had Pat drive me over.
That's the cab driver.
That's the cab driver. He's practically my chauffeur. His stand is right out in front of our building here. And I'm one of those native-born New Yorkers who never learned to drive.
Hey, Mrs. Collins.
Yes?
Are you sure that you're telling me everything you know about this?
Oh, believe me, I am, Mr. Ballingham. Why, it would be so stupid of me not to.
Yes, it would.
I've got to have that jewelry back before Julian comes back. He'll never understand the gambling and all. He's gone so much of the time and we have no children and, there just wasn't anything else to do. Well, you can understand that, Mr. Ballingham.
No, but I'll try, Mrs. Collins. There was something tragic about her. A woman of means and advantage who was husbandless part of the time and childless all the time. I suppose that isn't an easy life, but surely there must be other ways to fill the emptiness. Well, not for Loretta, apparently. She packed a small bag and asked me to drive her to Sylvia's. As we walked toward my car, a grinning taxi driver leaned out of his cab.
Take you somewhere, Mrs. Collins?
Not this time, thanks, Pat. I'm freeloading.
Okay, but don't make it a habit. I gotta make a living, you know.
I know. See you later, Pat. He's awfully nice, Mr. Ballingham.
Yeah, he seems to be. So tell me about your friend Sylvia.
Oh, well, there isn't much to tell. She's a nice person, a widow. Oh, just lives a block or so from here. Turn right on Broadway, number 223.
Okay, tell me, does Sylvia have money?
I guess so. Well, she seems to anyway. Has a lovely apartment, a nice car, all the symbols anyway. Why?
Just wondered. Oh, by the way, if you don't want her to know you've hired me, maybe you better tell her I'm a business friend of your husband's. Just drop by as you were leaving the house, something like that.
Oh, yes, that's a good idea.
Yeah.
It's in this block, the big green apartment building on the right.
Okay, that's funny.
What is it?
Yeah. Oh, here's a parking place. I wonder what Pinky's doing around here.
A friend of yours?
Yeah. Sort of a protege. That bicycle parked over there. That blue one. Looks just like Pinky's. That's Pinky's, all right.
Oh, Sylvia's apartment is the first one on this side. You really don't have to come in, Mr. Ballingham.
The name's Murphy, remember? I'm an old friend of your husband's.
Yes, that's right.
I'll come in to carry your bag and to meet Sylvia. I'm very partial to wealthy widows.
Really, Mr. Ballingham, do you think you will find my jewelry?
Well, I've got one idea so far, Mrs. Collins. If that doesn't work, you leave it up to me.
Yes, of course. Here we are.
Oh, darling, I'm so glad you're back.
Yes.
Oh, hello.
Hello.
Sylvia, this is Mr.
Murphy.
Yes, of course, Mr. Murphy. Sylvia Cartwright.
How do you do, Mr. Murphy?
I'm fine. How are you?
Well, I'm fine. Well. Come in, both of you. I was just getting ready for a swim.
Oh, sounds wonderful.
Maybe I could scare up a pair of trunks for you, Mr. Murphy.
Thanks, but no. I don't want to show my knobby knees. I got to be running along. I just stopped by Mrs. Collins looking for her husband. Yeah, see, her husband.
Mr. Murphy's from out of town. Known Julian for years and years. I was all packed and ready to come over here. Really, I was.
So I brought her, see?
Well, you don't have to explain anything to me. As a matter of fact, I can go down to the pool alone, and you two can stay here, for all I can, and talk about old times.
Why, Sylvia.
Relax, Loretta, and forgive me, Mr. Murphy. I've told stories like that myself so many times, I know them by heart.
Yeah, I bet you do at that.
You know I do.
What? Now, I won't have you thinking like that, Sue.
Oh, now, don't be silly, darling. It's not important anyway.
Oh, but it is, I just...
Hey, wait a minute. Hold it. Let's you both go down to the pool and talk it over. I really have business to tend to.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm really sorry.
Yeah, well, just keep it that way.
Yes.
Will we be hearing from you about anything or anything, you know?
Oh, yeah, sure, sweetheart. Sure you will. About anything. Anything at all. About that Sylvia, well, the case was beginning to have its complications, but I didn't figure Loretta Collins at all. Sometimes I thought she was lying through her teeth, and sometimes I knew that she was just a bewildered dame who had had her jewels lifted. I passed by Pinky's bike again, and then I left. Still no sign of him. I had told Loretta I had one good idea. He was still at the taxi stand in front of her apartment.
I say, can I help you? Huh?
Yeah, maybe so. And now look, you drive her almost everywhere she goes, right?
Yeah, that I do.
Well, how about telling me just where does she go? Huh?
Regulation places. Saks, Macy's, places for lunch, stuff like that. Huh?
Uh-huh.
This morning I took her over to some Lower East Side dump.
That was mine.
Oh, well, hey, you know, there is one place she does go.
Oh?
Yeah, a couple times a week for the last 3-4 months. Place way up on Riverside Drive over there. Huh?
Friend of hers? Huh?
Well, maybe. She usually asks me to wait, though, between 15 minutes and a half an hour. That's all the longer she stays. Huh?
When was the last time you took her there? Huh?
Let me see. The day before yesterday, I think. Yeah, it was the day before yesterday. I remember because I got my shoes polished. I always get my shoes polished on Thursdays. No sense in getting them polished twice in 1 week, even if they're muddy. They're only going to get muddy again standing out here.
Yeah, all right. Enough already. I followed Pat's directions to the address on Riverside Drive. The thing that interested me most was not what was ahead, but what or who was behind me in the big expensive car. The sun was just beginning to rise, and it hit the windshield just in the spot to obscure the driver. I slowed down at the isolated address, noticed another big car parked in front. When I stopped, the car behind me stopped. A well-dressed woman got out and went into the house. As she did, she passed another well-dressed woman coming out. It looked like a change of shifts. As she drove away, I got out of the car and went up to the door. Somebody, somewhere, was watching me. I could feel it.
Yes?
Oh, hello,
Why, come in, Mr. Ballingham.
Ernest J. Scoonzili, otherwise known as Ernie the Stoolie. What are you doing here?
I do not believe you have an appointment, sir.
No, I didn't make one. Now look here, Puke.
Excuse me, please, one moment. You will come in, please?
Yeah, Puke. Thanks.
May I inquire, sir, who referred you here to the madam?
Now listen, Ernie, you know me. I don't have to have a reference.
The madam must insist on references, Mr. Ballingham. I know who you is, but she does not.
Oh, she insists, eh? Yeah, well, tell her I'm a friend of Mrs. Collins. Loretta Collins.
Oh, yes, Mrs. Collins. Yes, I will tell her.
Good, Puke.
You will follow me then. The madam will see you now.
More to the point, I will see the madam. I followed Ernest J. Squingili down a darkened hallway. As far as I could tell, there was no door ahead. It looked like a blind alley. Even in the darkness, I sensed that someone could see me. I didn't have long to think about it. Just when we reached what looked like an impasse, the little Puke ahead of me pulled some heavy drapes aside and nodded for me to enter. I walked into a room that was heavily draped on all sides, pungent with the smell of incense, and studying me from across the room, a Grecian-robed woman seated beside, so help me, a crystal ball.
You will come in, please, and be seated.
Yeah, I will. You see, I...
Hush, hush!
What?
Hush! You will remain silent. It is so necessary, your silence. Ernest, you will go.
Yes, madam.
Hey, those are very clever drapes you got there. They move by themselves. When they're closed, you can't tell where the door is.
I must insist. Your silence is very important.
Uh-huh.
I see. To the crystal ball, you're in need of help. Much help. Or you will not be here very long.
Well, yeah, you could say that, yeah.
You make it very difficult for me to see what is in store for you. The crystal ball is cloudy. Very cloudy.
Well, quit breathing on it then.
Please.
Oh, sorry. I got carried away.
Now, you are seeking something, probing, searching out, and this is not a good thing. Some things one must not pursue. I regret to say, for you I see much trouble, great trouble, and death. You are in need of a rest, my friend. Rest and sleep. A long sleep. Ernest will help you. Ernest will help you to sleep.
The madam's prediction was suffocatingly accurate. Ernest helped me sleep all right. With a strong assist from a sponge full of ether, my watch said it was 2 hours later when I came to, and I was out of the anesthetic a long way from the house on Riverside Drive. I was in my own DeSoto, parked on a strand of riverfront in the 200s. 10 minutes and a blast of bourbon later, I entered Sylvia's apartment again. This time, there was no sign of Pinky's blue bike.
I don't think Lillian will be long. She remembered some shopping she had to do.
Or did she now?
You don't look as if you feel very well, Mr. Ballingham.
Oh, well, I feel just fine. But I just woke up from a long sleep. And, by the way, you really shouldn't call me Mr. Ballingham.
Oh, yes. Now, where on earth do you suppose I got that name Ballingham from?
I really wouldn't know. Okay, where's Loretta, huh?
I told you she went shopping.
Without her purse?
Well, what do you...
That blue bag over there. She was carrying it when I brought her here.
Now, isn't that odd?
Yes, isn't it?
There's the door. Would you excuse me?
Sure.
Yes.
Oh, I want to see Manny Putskin.
Why, you must be mistaken. There's no one here by that name.
Well, I was told he lives here, sweetheart, and I seen him come in and out of here.
Wait.
So I'm coming in, and I'm going to wait for him, sweetheart.
No, you can't come in here, no.
Well, if it isn't Pinky. Hello.
Holy cucumbers, Mr. Ballingham. What are you doing here?
Well, Pinky, it's just one of those happy coincidences. For the first time in my life, I'm glad to see you. Oh, Sylvia, close the door, will you? Make yourself at home, Pinky.
You got any pancakes?
I'm afraid I don't understand this, Mr. Ballingham.
Yeah, well, I'm afraid I wouldn't for a while. But stick around. I think things are going to get cleared up in a hurry. Ain't that right, Pinky?
Gee, Mr. Ballingham, what's the pitch here? How do you know this dame?
Well, I don't know her. I don't know her at all. In fact, I don't know her as well as I'm going to. As soon as you leave, you sure you saw Manny here, Pinky?
Well, sure I'm sure. I got 2 eyes, you know, and a blue bike. He left here about an hour ago with some other dame.
Listen, you, keep quiet.
A brunette, Pinky? A blue and white dress?
Yeah. She didn't seem too happy about going with Manny.
Did you tail him on your bike?
I sure did. Pedaling uphill, too. To a house way on the top of Riverside Drive. Up that big hill.
That's fine, Pinky, that's fine. Then what happened?
Well, you wouldn't believe it, Mr. Ballingham. I'm all set to move in. You know, talk to Manny Putskin. When some guy jumps me, and he stuffs my mouth full of a sponge thing. And it was loaded with something.
You pass out, Pinky?
Oh, I sure did. For a while. And when I woke up, I was sitting on my bike. Big as you please. Down at the bottom of the hill. Well, I figured Manny Putskin started from here and he'd be coming back. Well, so I came back. And gosh, now here you are.
It's an interesting story, isn't it, Sylvia?
None of it is true.
Well, of course not. How did you get a line on Manny Putskin, Pinky?
Well, when I was doing my paper route this morning, I heard talk that he's got some new racket. Got something to do with a rich doll. And you know who this dame is?
No, tell me, Pinky.
Well, gee, she's right out of the Blue Book, that's who.
Sylvia?
Oh, I don't figure her being with somebody like Putskin. Except I gotta believe what I see and hear.
Yeah, Pinky. Me too.
Then maybe you two will believe this gun if you see it.
What?
Stay where you are and keep the hands up.
See, I knew I'd get to know you better, Sylvia. Stop me if I'm wrong. You set up suckers, wealthy females, con them into visiting Madame who tells fortunes based on what you've told her.
You're crazy, and you're in no position to talk.
Maybe then the Madame predicts some trouble for him and warns him of the dangers ahead.
Shut up!
Like maybe your jewelry isn't safe where it is. Take it out of the bank. Keep it at home where you can watch it. Loretta. And when the poor stoop does that, you come in the front door and Putskin goes in the back door to cop the jewels.
I said shut up.
Hey, Mr. Ballingham, you think that's the deal?
Yes, I think that's the deal.
Dude, please! You're breaking my arm!
Only if I have to, baby. Get that gun, Pinky.
Yeah, sure.
And bring Sylvia here along with you, Pinky. The 3 of us are going to have our fortunes told.
Well, what about Manny Putskin? I mean, what a sweet deal he's got. I didn't know he was so smart.
Yeah, he's got a big brain, all right. And a stomach to match.
Oh, hey, watch out, Mr. Ballingham. There's a policeman in a prowl car ahead of you.
Yeah, I've been watching him, Pinky. Where's Sylvia's gun?
Right here, why?
Give it to me a minute, huh?
You ain't gonna plug him, are you?
Come on, Pinky, come on. Just give it to me.
Oh, okay. But I'm not responsible if you plug him.
thanks. I'll remember that.
Oh, what? You hit him.
Yeah, that's not all.
What are you doing? You ran right into that police car.
That's the way I played it, sweetheart.
Well, now, that wasn't very bright of you. Oh, so it's Mr. Ballingham, is it?
Muldoon.
And now what would you be hitting my patrol car for?
Demoted again, eh, Muldoon?
Never mind, be that as it may. What would you be doing here?
I got a couple of customers for you, Muldoon. I had to move quick.
Well, sure, and now I understand, but me patrol car... Oh, no, you don't.
Oh, yes, we do. The lively one's got a great racket. I'll tell you about it later, Muldoon.
You...
And Muldoon.
Yes, Ballingham?
Pinky over there wants to see his parole officer. Can you give him a lift?
You were... Oh, you want me to take him in, then?
I sure do. And tell your brethren to come to 6956 Broadway right away with their muskets loaded. The house on the top of the hill had the empty look that only occupied houses can have. Pinky had tipped his hand just in time. I was better off traveling light, so I sent him back to reform school temporarily. I'll get him out again when I need him. I knew I'd have no trouble getting into the house. Putskin was probably expecting me. I was so right.
You're late, Mr. Ballingham.
Well, Manny, you know, some days it takes me longer to come out of ether than others.
You must have done a good job, Ernie.
I always try, Mr. Putskin.
Oh, believe me, Manny. He's earned a promotion.
Get your business over with.
Well, madam, I didn't recognize you without your crystal ball.
Never mind, Mr. Ballingham.
Okay, I won't. Where's Loretta?
She's resting.
Look, Putskin, your nasty little racket here is one thing, but kidnapping is another, huh?
Yes. And murder. Murder is something else again.
You forced us, Mr. Ballingham. I warned you not to probe.
Putskin, listen, I'm not kidding. If you've done anything to Loretta, I'll take you.
She's perfectly safe. She's not been harmed yet.
That's right. Not yet.
She'd better not be. Oh, there you are, Loretta.
What?
Well, she can't be. Oh, there's no one there.
It's an old gag, Putskin. Gave me a chance at my gun. Now, the three of you stand over there by the window.
I told you he was too clever for you, Mr. Putskin.
Be quiet, Ernie. Now look here, Ballingham.
No, you look. You and Ernie and the madam here take a good look out the window and let me know when the law arrives. You know, madam, even without your crystal ball, I can see trouble for you. Much trouble. Loretta had been given the ether treatment too. We found her when the police arrived. She was okay, just thoroughly frightened and a little dazed, and she wasn't all we found when we searched the place. Putskin had fenced the jewelry as fast as he stole it, and the parade of women who came in to claim it all later read like the social registry. Social register? The elite, the 400. Well, did you get all of that mulatta?
I sure did, Mr. Ballingham. There's only one thing I don't understand.
What's that?
Why did you send Pinky to the reform school when he didn't do anything?
It was just to get him out of the way. I thought he was getting a little hot-headed, and he might try to jump Putskin or something. After all, he doesn't even have a pea shooter, remember?
Oh, Mr. Ballingham.
Well, that's that case. Now, get ready to transcribe the next one. Did I ever tell you the story of how I met Manny Putskin and Ernest J. Scungili? Oh, and Latrine Cassette. It was back in my early days, when I was young and naive. I had a partner. The two of us opened up a little place. Then she came.
Chapter 2 of Brute Ballingham, Private Detective, here on The Joe Bev Show. Tune in next time for Chapter 3. Want to hear more? Check out Joe Bev at Amazon.com.